Right next to the sun.
FPP 85, July 1st, 2013.
Do you want to try that again, Mike? No.
But the song
You want to do hats first, because you're ready for it.
the song I'll be doing is in F.
Yeah,
alright.
he looks ready for it.
Okay.
Okay.
So this is this song is for you, Mike, especially.
How sweet.
Here we go. You gotta have something to keep your head warm when you don't got that much hair. When the temperature's so you think it might snow, you need headgear to wear. Now Mike is outside most all of the time with a camera in his hand. We're there in and Bill out getting a chill. He needs warmth on demand. So Jen answered his call. She bought a hat, she bought a hat. Hey Mike, we like your hats. Give us a twirl, give us a twirl. You got one special girl. He bought a hat, oh she bought a hat. Hey Mike, we like your hats. Give us a twirl, give us a twirl. You got one special girl. A chapeau of blue, a baseball cap too, sombrero with a brim. Deer stalkers find the trill, he is mine, the fez belongs to him. A headgear adorer should wear a fedora to say it really loud. I like to wear hats and that is a fact, I'm really very proud. So Jen answered his call. She bought a hat, she bought a hat. Hey Mike, we like your hats. Give us a twirl, give us a twirl. You got one special girl. She bought a hat, oh she bought a hat. Hey Mike, we like your hats. Give us a twirl, oh give us a twirl. You got one special girl. Let's talk, let's talk, let's talk about. Let's talk, let's talk, let's talk about. Let's talk, let's talk, let's talk about hats. She bought a hat, she bought a hat. Hey Mike, we like your hats. Give us a twirl, give us a twirl. You got one special girl. She bought a hat, oh she bought a hat. Hey Mike, we like your hats. Give us a twirl, give us a twirl. You got one special girl. You got one special girl. You got one special girl. She bought a hat, she bought a hat. Hey Mike, we like your hats.
Yes.
Oh, bravo, bravo.
Awesome.
That's very nice.
Hey,
And Darren, you wrote that when you saw this hat.
I did. Yes.
Just right now.
Welcome, everybody, to the Summer FPP Free-For-All. And in the studio, starting from my left, is Rebecca Riley, Darren Riley,
Hello.
recently married.
Yes.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
In from England to the U.S.
Yep.
Here visiting the FPP studio.
That's right.
Thrilled to have you.
It's great to be here.
In from beautiful downtown Findlay, Ohio, is Leslie Lazenby.
Hi, everyone.
Hello, Leslie.
How are you?
Good to see you.
Thank you. Good to see you.
Next, with his drum
Metal vase.
metal vase,
Vase. What
John
have you?
Fideli.
Hey, how you doing? Looking good, babe.
Dane Johnson.
Hello.
Mark Dalzell.
Hi.
Hey, here we are. The FPP. Why don't we break the ice with a letter?
Hey, Michael. I just purchased a Polaroid 420 off of eBay. Like you instructed us to do, I found out that the battery compartment had no corrosion in it and that the shutter fired. I ordered a 3-bolt battery, and to my horror, the camera did not do the 2 clicks of the shutter when I tested it.
Oh.
Is there any other troubleshooting tips you can offer me to see what is wrong with my camera? Thanks, Denver.
What do you think, Leslie?
Denver.
Actually, just because you put that battery in still doesn't mean those contacts are perfectly clean. That's exactly where I would start, is to check the contacts, make sure they're clean and tight, because if he's using that 3 volt, That's a 9-volt battery clip dealy thing on each end. And sometimes you have to tighten those up a little bit.
What do you clean them with? Contact cleaner?
Contact cleaner.
Yeah, it just says on the bottle, contact cleaner.
It does.
What contact cleaner do you use?
I use, I know the old name, ProGold, Deoxit.
Oh, Deoxit, yeah.
Yeah, I've
Red
used
can.
it long enough, I know it as ProGold.
Kaig. Yep.
Yes, good stuff, amazing stuff.
What if it still doesn't work?
Then I send it to you.
I asked him to, just because you buy a battery new, doesn't mean that battery even has any juice in it.
Oh, really?
Because it's a strange battery, it may be sitting on a shelf for years.
Absolutely. You
Batteries
may want
got
to
some
convert
strange.
that to AAAs.
Yeah.
I had a similar problem with my Colour Pack 2.
Okay.
I knew it had been working. I'd used it before and then not used it for months. Changed the batteries, nothing happening. But eventually it just kept pressing the shutter for about
see?
5 minutes. And
Yeah.
eventually it started working
The
again.
Dane Johnson technique.
Yeah.
Johnson technique.
Yep, give it a workout.
Work it.
You gotta
Work it.
work it like a Johnson.
Shoot it like it's stolen.
Like a Dane Johnson, right?
Yes, of course.
Yeah, work it like a
I mean,
Johnson.
jeez. I don't think that was that bad.
No, it's going to.
This is from Eddie Film Shooter. John, our good friend Eddie Haselino.
Is that right? Oh, well.
Emails regularly.
Oh, great, Eddie.
Have you seen Eddie lately?
No, I have not. Last time I saw him was in Starbucks about 2 years ago.
These are links to websites.
Any of you guys recognize?
Read them all out.
Yeah, you guys know any of these links?
HTTP ://
Well, these are
Some
some
Michael Russo styles.
some sites he recommends.
Yes, links I found. Hey Mike, it's Eddie. Hey Mike, it's Eddie, film shooter. Links I found. BelieveInFilm.com.
You need to add a few.
It hurts my throat.
He's not going to sing later.
I'll do it for you.
I still shoot film.org.
Anybody know that?
That's all one word. I still shoot film. Okay. Oh, this is a long one. JapanCameraHunter.com
Hi.
Yes, we know that.
//
knows that one.
Who knows that one?
2012 /12 film-photography-is-not-dead.
Oh, that's it?
Maybe just try JapanCameraHunter.com and see what comes up.
Yeah, that's a
tiny
good
URL.
idea.
And last one, Film Shooter Collective or FilmShootersCollective.com.
Well, now we have some new
don't know
sites to
that.
go to.
There you go.
People love to shoot film, love to go to like sites having to do with film.
Yeah.
Because there aren't that many, right, Leslie?
There's not that many.
No, I mean,
Well, now there's 3 new ones.
Yes.
Thanks, Eddie.
yes, of course, folks, our site, filmphotographyproject.com, that is our URL. You can get the show notes.
What show?
I should always mention that the show you're listening to right now has a set of show notes. You can
Show
go there.
notes?
Yep. You can email us, podcast@filmphotographyproject.com. And you could also go to our website and you could go to the store. Here's an email for John if you would pass it along.
It's from Peter Sackett. Pronounced
Peter?
Sackett.
Oh, it's from Australia. Oh,
That's why I gave it to you.
It's been redacted.
all right. Let's see. I have to remember how to do my Australian accent. I really like you guys. I've just started listening to your podcast from Melbourne, Australia. I've been shooting film since I was 7 years old in the outback. No, my first
You didn't say that.
my first camera was a JAF 110 personal camera. Now I sound like Darren doing an American accent. And I've been using my beloved Polaroid 250 and XX70 for 15 years. Still, I learned something from each of your episodes.
Oh, that's
One
a
of the
miracle.
things I enjoy most about your show is the camaraderie it offers. Australia is a tough place, matey. Oh, it's a tough place to be a film shooter. Sorry, Peter. Particularly. I don't know how an Australian would say particularly. I've never run into a posh Australian to know how he would say particularly. 1 pack of Fuji FP100C will set you back $45.
What?
Yeah. So I buy my supply when I fly back to the States for a visit every year or so and throw the old ones on the barbie. They're delish. The other day, I dropped my SX70. I was broken-hearted since it was my grandfather's aluminum and tan leather model in fine shape. Not anymore, mate. No one here can fix it. In fact, the local shops just scratch their heads and advise, just buy another one. That's really a horrible thing to say, isn't it?
What?
He didn't even hear you.
Huh? Here it goes. He says, they don't understand. So I'll have to wait and hope that the shop in the States can fix it. In the meantime, My stockpile of Time Zero film languishes in the fridge. Well, send it here, mate. But I have a real question for you. I have a Minox B in perfect working order. Is film still available for it? I'd love to use it. Best, Peter. That's for you, Leslie.
Absolutely.
Minox B.
Oh, but I'm afraid he's going to have to shop here in the States yet.
Oh, we'll have to get it shipped.
Blue Moon Camera and Machine
Yeah.
sells Minox film.
And they develop it as well, I imagine.
Yes, they do.
Wow.
Now, is that spy film?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, it's
spy film.
That helps.
Small format film.
Exactly.
You have a Minox B camera, don't you, Mike?
No,
I thought you did.
I probably do.
Minolta, very popular also in that 16.
I have one of the little silver ones but yeah, I haven't really got the.
Here's a very time-sensitive letter, John. Just a quick note from Oxford, England, from Dean Ryan.
Yeah.
To say hello and how much I enjoy the shoe.
What shoe?
And to tell you about a forthcoming exhibition of live music photography of mine here in Oxford.
Live music photography. What is that exactly?
In the early 90s, I was lucky enough to see lots of gigs at Jericho Tavern in Oxford. I've just become interested in photography, and soon I got into the swing of photographing the bands that came through, including Radiohead, Supergrass,
No way.
Pulp,
Nice.
and The Verve.
Ooh.
You know The Verve?
Yeah.
They have that Super Symphony.
Symphony of something or
Like-
another.
I really think, when I think of that, I think of who are those two nasty boys that have the YouTube.
Dane and Mark.
No, the super group from the 90s, they were British.
Oh, the
They're like, we're better than the Beatles.
yeah, those two jerks.
Oasis.
Yeah.
He's not on the list. Maybe he got
big,
punched.
big square heads.
Maybe he got punched in the mouth by them.
Oh, maybe.
Maybe he got his film ripped. Dean says, shooting with an Olympus OM1N, I visited the venue on and off over a 4-year period. Dean, I tell you, I'm jealous.
Yeah.
Think about it. How awesome it is to be like at the right place at the right time.
Top bands.
Said using whatever film I had lying around, mainly Ilford HP5, which I processed myself, making contact sheets, then hiding it all away in a box. Now, after 20 years, I figured I better do something with these images, most of which have never seen the light of day.
Wow, that's
It would
awesome.
be great if you could let the listeners know about the exhibition.
It's called Rock Portraits 9094.
It's at Art Jericho Gallery, Oxford, England, from July 4th through the 3rd of August, 2013. Go to artjericho.com. That's ARTJERICHO.com. Cheers, Dean Ryan, who's on Flickr as Dean Ryan Photo. That's DeanRyanPhoto.
Go to the show and you can see pictures of Tom York when his eye wasn't so
now,
crooked.
he says, hope to see you again in London. The 2012 meetup was a great day out. He was there.
Yeah.
Dean, good on you.
Good on you, mate.
Very excited about this.
Yeah, good for him.
And I'm hoping our FPP group,
fan base,
gang,
will go and
visit this.
Support Dean.
If this was in New York, we'd be going.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah.
I don't even know. Hold on, wait, let's see. James Eakin. Hi guys, I've been meaning to write in, avid listener of the podcast. Heard Michael recently talking about how he is a shoegaze fan, and I wanted to share something I thought you guys would enjoy. I have a band, not a shameless plug, there's a point, but you can stream my new album here at http://nbhap.com/27405/ Anyway, I work with and am friends with Robin Guthrie, formerly of the Cocteau Twins, Shoegaze God, and he's one who actually got me into shooting film. He's never stopped shooting, and his passion greatly inspired me. IW, don't know what that means, as digital only until he got me loking into film, and now mostly everything I do is film. Sorry. Would love to send you guys a copy of my latest album, Robin Mastered. Also, gotta say how much I love the FPP Debonair. Having it has always been awesome.
That's right.
As it has led to me developing my own film at home, something I've always wanted to do. Keep up the great shoes. You guys rock. Long live film and shoegaze. Cheers. Oh, he's from England.
start again.
All right. I work with and am friends with Robin Guthrie. No.
And the question...
The Cocteau Twins. Oh, that's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
Fact,
I
it's
saw,
more
Make it into ankle gaze.
yeah.
There you go.
I saw the word
Shin
shoegaze
gaze.
and I went with it, man. You only, you only have a second to make these decisions.
Hey, John. Remember our buddy Nick Rapak?
Yeah, sure.
He is the guy who was
He's
on
the guy
New
with, yeah, he's the chemical guy. Slapping chemicals on his Polaroids in New York City.
Yep. He came with a defunct Polaroid roll film camera and had a roll of film that expired sometime in the 1970s,
Yep.
but yet was still able to squeeze
Got
an
images.
image out of it.
Yeah.
Well, I always love to give a plug when FPPers are doing something excited. Nick started a website called Polaprints, POLAPRINTS, .net, polaprints.net, where you could send him an image, like a digital image, or even an image scanned from one of your slides.
Yeah.
And he, let's say you don't own a Polaroid camera, like it's Polaroid Spectra size, he'll make a print for you.
Oh, really?
He has some kind of special device, and he will burn an image for you and send you prints.
No kidding.
Yeah, so if you want
pretty cool.
Real Polaroid prints from your scans or digital file, you can go to polaprints.net. That's Nick's website, and you'll go there and you'll see there's the homepage, facts, FAQ, facts.
Yeah.
Yeah. Special offers, a basket. And you could get some prints made. You'll get authentic Polaroid prints sent to you. And I just thought I'd do a shout out.
Yeah.
For Nick's enterprise.
Put 'em up, boy. Put 'em up, boy.
Good on you, mate.
Yeah, good on you.
Okay, who wants to read it?
This one says, "Hi, I love the podcast." Next.
Thank you.
All right.
Thanks from Scott.
I just had the pleasure of listening to the latest and greatest and heard a piece of music which sounded too familiar to me. And sure enough, a little later in the day, I remembered where I'd heard it. It's music from an old East German Orwo film commercial. ORWO.
Ah, yeah.
Yes, true.
Awesome.
What was it, a commercial you played?
There's no dialogue, it's just music.
Take care. Scott Hoffman. Yeah.
Hello, dear folks at FPP. I recently purchased some Impossible film from you.
Yeah.
Now, this I associate with this. He says, I'm from Europe, and unbelievably, shipping is cheaper if I buy it from you than it is directly from the Netherlands.
Is that mad?
It's made in the Netherlands.
Is that mad?
It's still cheaper to buy it from the FPP store than it is from there. And I would like firstly to say thanks very much for the sticker, photographs and instructions you were kind enough to include. I highly enjoyed looking at it and everything and reading everything you sent. Anyway, I was looking at the Mint flash bar for SX70 type cameras in your store and noticed that on the last image, the one where the flash bar is attached to an SX71 step, the flash bar is actually on backwards.
Jeez.
Stupid.
So you take a photo and blind yourself.
I didn't even do that.
I was doing a product shot, and I just had
just threw
no
it in there?
idea.
Yeah.
That's great.
I had that brought to my attention.
Honestly, I saw that picture and I thought, oh, maybe that's what you do when you're not using the flash, so it doesn't go off. Like, maybe
You
the
turn it
contacts don't
around.
line up. Like, I
No,
saw
it's
that,
got,
and I
it's
actually
got an on
justified.
switch.
Oh, Mike must know what he's doing.
Made it work in
No,
your
the
brain.
flash, the Mint flash has an off and on switch.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
That turns on and off real easy in
Do
your
you have
bag.
one?
Oh, maybe. Yeah, I've got one. Yeah,
You have one.
Yeah.
And Leslie, you have one.
I do not.
You
I
do
borrow
not.
yours.
And I have one.
Joseph has one, and it's constantly, every time he goes to get it, the battery's dead, because when he pulls it out of his bag, it hits.
Oh.
Or when he puts it in,
Right,
it
and then
knocks it. So he
it's
puts
on.
tape over the thing, and
It's definitely a money saver if you shoot a lot of SX.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Leslie, when you're done with Mike's flash, can I borrow it?
Sure, no problem.
Cool, thanks.
Yeah. Anytime.
Go ahead, Darren.
So Marin's saying, I consider this to be an unintentional mistake on your part. No, you meant it, Mike, didn't you? So I just decided to mention it so you can fix it up. Anyway,
Should
keep
give
it
him
up.
$1,000 just for spotting that
Yeah,
mistake.
I've just gotten into your podcast, and I'll definitely be ordering supplies from you in the future. Thank you for existing.
All right.
That's
for
sweet.
existing.
That's
Wow.
awesome.
Thank you, Marin.
Nice.
Let's do one more letter from
great.
Denise.
All right, Denise.
Oh, yeah, give it a mark. He does an excellent job, boys.
You were only hoping.
Did you want to read one?
No, I
Okay.
have to have bigger typeface, dude.
Hello. First off, I want to say I love the Film Photography Project podcast, and I've been listening to your podcast for a year and a half, and I'm always excited for the next podcast.
Yay.
Oh,
I do have a quick question for you guys, though. I'm heading to New Orleans this summer, and beforehand, I would like to buy and take with me a Polaroid camera. Which instant Polaroid camera would you recommend for me, as I want to take several pictures of my trip there? Thanks, and keep up the great work.
That's a good one.
There's the first big decision.
$250.
No, before
All right,
that
next letter.
decision. Before that
what was the
decision.
question?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, come on. Which Polaroid camera would she buy to
She's
document
going to
New
New Orleans
Orleans?
for a few days, wants to buy a Polaroid.
Which one?
There you go. Integral or peel apart?
Yep.
Peel apart or the spit out front?
Spit out.
Integral. Spit out.
Well, spit out front, you just put in the pocket.
Yeah.
Peel.
But all that peeling stuff, and you're out in the partying with New Orleans.
It's difficult.
You're gonna. It's gonna get gummy all over your.
But the integral stuff is so much more expensive. I hesitate to shoot my integral stuff. With the FP100, I shoot it like crazy.
With the plastic.
Since she doesn't have one yet, and she's gonna have to blow a roll anyways, just learning how to use pack foam.
Yeah.
That she might as well jump right in.
Yeah.
And use the integral,
I
the color
think.
protection stuff.
I think. I think so.
Or are we forgetting?
yes.
Are we forgetting?
Yes.
What about a Fuji Instax?
No, those are even better.
Wide. It'd have to be a wide.
Yep.
Integral
Works
style.
every time.
Yeah.
Works every time. Unless you bring
Fuji Instax wide.
Wide.
It's called 210, right?
210.
210.
Yes.
Yeah.
Small of a size mammal, but it's all right.
Or if
And
you
you
like
can-
smaller, go with the Instax Mini.
And you can get the film at CVS. And
you don't want to.
Yes.
You don't want to photograph a grand place like New Orleans with a mini.
But Instax Mini is fun at parties. I wouldn't
But Denise
shoot
may
actual-
want actual
Maybe it's a small
Polaroid.
party.
Yeah.
She wants actual Polaroid. Definitely
Yes.
get her one step.
Yeah. So we have a split here. Who thinks should be peel apart
Well,
film?
6-1, I think, is the split. I say peel apart.
Danny, what do you say?
I'd go integral.
What type? What camera?
Or integral as well.
What camera?
Which one?
Yeah.
I would say any.
A one-step type?
Yeah, like a one-step thing. Any of those.
Impulse?
Yeah, I'd,
Spectra? Oh.
Spectra.
You
yeah, that's
travel
true.
with Spectra.
Yes, I had the Spectra
you
was
love
the
your
first one that
Spectra,
worked
right?
for me.
John?
Yeah, I'm with Dane.
Spectra
would be nice. Yeah, but if you want to be less bothered and don't want to have the size an issue, then just get a little clamshell one
I'm going to go
step.
with the Spectra.
Mm-hmm.
It's the newest integral, so the least amount
Focus
of problems.
is great.
Oh.
Focus is great.
Exposure's
My
all
little
over.
lines up on the back. Shoot.
Darren?
Flash is right there.
Fire.
I'm going to
Darren.
say be extravagant and get one of the folding SX70s.
Okay.
Sauna.
Yeah,
So,
those will give you the best shots, best bang for your buck for sure.
Becky?
Yeah.
What he said.
I'm
You
gonna have
guys
to
are newly married.
go. Mark, you've changed your opinion.
No, I was just going to say, so now that the consensus is to go integral, I agree with Darren. If you're going to go integral, go with the SX70. The folder.
It's good to have film integrity.
Is this something you wash your hair in?
I don't know what you guys are talking
No, but
about.
Integral.
Is it spelled the same?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Integral.
I always thought it was
You
integral.
got to put the emphasis.
Like something was being integrated
Integral.
because the chemistry is integrated into the film.
I
So
don't know.
let's
We'll have to look that up.
We'll start
Okay, so now we're going to vote.
Let's start a poll on the FVP site.
This
How to
reminds-
pronounce
Do you pronounce it
Integral
integral or
or
integral?
integral?
See, this reminds me of Cole Porter. He's written
Yeah.
his latest song.
Potato,
He gives
potato.
the lyrics to his publisher. Says, "Read that. It's a great set of lyrics." Publisher reads it. Says, "You say potato. I say potato. You say tomato. I say tomato. Potato, potato, tomato." I don't get it. It's
Rubbish. Write it again.
That's what you get
I
when
hope
you're
that
hitting the
answers the
sauce late at night, Cole.
Somewhere in there may be an answer.
Whoa.
What do we got?
Here's a good one. Let's read this one.
Okay.
Who
Let's.
wants to read it?
You go ahead.
I'm done.
Oh, I'll read it.
Yeah.
From Joshua Green. He says, "Hi there.
Hi there.
Thank you very much for providing the wonderful hand-cut X-ray sheet film. I'm ready to move on to large format, but first I think
Whoa.
I'll get my feet wet with a 2x3 film before moving to 4x5. I was wondering if you ever considered or possibly received emails about cutting X-ray film down to this size, as there's not many other places to get 2x3. I know it's a weird film size, since it rests between that weird gray zone between medium and large format, but I thought it was worth bringing up. Thanks, Jay Green." Leslie?
I want to talk to you off air about this.
Okay.
I've got a brilliant idea.
You do?
I do.
Okay.
Going to
All
make
right.
cutting film a breeze.
All right. I'm up for that. Now, Mark, do you have a 2x3 camera?
I have my Century Graphic, which is like the 2 1/4 by 3 1/2. But if it was the choice between going to all the trouble to cut down sheet film for it, or just use the rollback, which is exactly the same size anyway, I use the rollbacks.
Okay. Leslie, is there such thing as a 2x3 camera? What is it?
I'm going to assume there was more than one manufacturer, but definitely the graphic.
Well, the
2 or 3, the minis, the babies.
These are older cameras with film sheets. You load in the back. That's the
So
formats
tell
are
him to
defunct.
just buy 4x5 and cut it down to the size he wants.
Well, I think we're good with letters.
Okay.
We'll be right back.
Now you can discover the colors of Kodacolor Gold, a new film that captures natural color with new generation technology, giving more accurate, more realistic colors than you've ever seen before. A film that brings color to life and life to color. So when you've a moment to remember, take it easy and discover the colors of Kodacolor Gold.
Hey out there, FPPers, Matt Marash here. I'm going to talk to you guys today about developers. There's been a lot of discussion lately about developers, dilutions, brewing your own, and I just kind of wanted to take everything back to square one, kind of have a real quick overview of, what developers are and what some of the different things are that can affect your image. First off, what is a developer? Well, the developer is the chemical agent that reduces the silver halide in the emulsion, so that's the film itself, that reduces that silver halide to metallic silver. So typical solutions for developers are high in pH or alkaline, have a restrainer to make sure it doesn't process too quickly, and they also have some other chemical agents in there to prevent oxidization. So basically when you mix up a developer, oxygen will also react with that developer, and the more oxygen that's reacted with it, or the older it is, the more quickly it will degrade, and the effect will be lessened until eventually your film just won't get developed. A couple of standard developers that a lot of folks love to use, Kodak D76, it's like the de facto standard. Kodak HC110, it's a little bit different kind of developer, comes in stock solutions, also comes in a syrup that you can measure out with a syringe and make any dilution you want from a more stock solution all the way down to 1 part to 50 parts, so you can just play around with that a lot. Ilfosol, Ilford's proprietary developer, and there's some other funky ones out there. We have your Rodinol, Caffeinol, Pyrocat, just all sorts of developers we can play with. But the next part is dilution. So dilution will prevent less of the reduction reaction from occurring per time. So basically, you're reducing the amount of active agent in the developer per the same amount of volume, and then over that time, it will react less. Some things that will occur with dilution are it will restrain the highlights. So basically, you have a certain amount of developer over the area of the film where it's reducing and creating density, and the developer will exhaust more quickly in the highlights and keep going in the shadows and midtones. When the shadows keep going, you get higher accutance, also known as micro contrast, also known as edge effects. So you'll get a sharper look, which some people really enjoy. Higher dilution is also good for push processing. You get a slight bump in film speed, but you will also get increased grain. So there are some trade-offs for what dilution does. Remember, folks, not all developers are created equal. We have normal and high contrast developers like your stock HC110 and D76. You have your ultra low contrast developers, your Technodol, your Rodinol, your Caffeinol. You have staining developers. Those are the Pyro family of developers, Pyrogalol, PMK, Pyrocat HD. We have our fine grain developers, our Xtol, our Diafine, our T-Max. It's all really, it's really up to experimenting, playing around with the developer. Now, I'm not talking just 1 or 2 rolls. We're talking, dozens of rolls of the same film in the same developer until you know you can consistently get the same results, and then playing around with it, saying, oh, let's, instead of using that D76 stock, let's bring it down to 1:1. So 1 part stock developer to 1 part water, or 1:3, and just seeing how that changes the effects of that developer. So not all film will push, and not all developers will dilute well. Just keep track of that. A fantastic place to look up developer dilutions and times is the Massive Developing Chart. You can Google Massive Dev Chart, and it's the first thing that comes up. They also have an iPhone and Android app, so be sure to check those out. And if you have any other questions or comments about developers, please send us an email, podcast@filmphotographyproject.com. And that's it on developers, and I'll talk to you soon.
I'm here to announce our latest and greatest, most spectacular contest for this show.
What show?
An awesome giveaway. Our good friends at Lomography.com, they're giving away a Baby Diana 110 film camera and a roll of Color Tiger 200 color print film right here on this show.
What show?
The Film Photography Podcast. That's right. If you go over to filmphotographyproject.com, facebook.com/giveaways, you'll see that our latest contest, which runs from July 1st through July 15th, 2013, we're giving away a Baby Diana 110 film camera and a roll of film. That's right, 110 film, introduced by Kodak in 1972 and advertised every night on television by guys like, well, Dick Van Dyke.
You know, it's such fun to give somebody something they've never had before. What I got from my wife. Something so new, it wasn't even around last Christmas. It's the Kodak Pocket Instamatic camera.
You probably remember your mom, your dad, your grandpa shooting 110 film. Well, 110 film is back. Thanks to the kind folks at Lomography, now's the time to dive in, to start shooting 110. Sign on up for our contest to win the Baby Diana 110 film camera. filmphotographypodcast.com/giveaways. Hey, John.
Hey, Mike.
I'm very excited to do a quick barrel through of what's new in the Film Photography Podcast store.
Oh, let's do it.
Filmphotographystore.com. It is the store of the FPP.
It's the store of tomorrow.
It is. And
today,
biggest explosion.
Oh, my.
FPP hand-rolled 35mm film.
Look at this. Oh, my God.
John has in his hand a 400-foot roll. Remember when we were students?
Yeah, shooting movies.
Remember the thrill of shooting movies?
Of holding a can of film like this?
Of running to, to New York, to Kodak on 33rd Street. Do you remember?
Yes, I do.
By the post office?
Vividly.
Professor Tarbox would be like, it's by the post office. Do you remember?
Yes.
Just to go get a little can of...
You walk in there and you see all people who look very important in the film community, and you're a little fly on the windshield buying 100-foot rolls.
I am thrilled to tell you that we now are carrying in 35mm 24 exposure rolls FPP Cinema XX.
Wow.
Black and white.
Oh, it must be beautiful.
It is. There's no secret here. It's Eastman Kodak Double-X negative
5222.
A number of people on the Flickr group have been shooting with
5222.
If you don't process at home, how do you get it to process?
Send it to the darkroom or
Darkroom.
Yeah.
What's the process for it?
Regular.
C41?
No, black and white.
Oh, black and white.
So it's like
HC110.
Oh, I see.
D76.
Caffeinol. But the beautiful thing about this film, and what's great about, kind of discovery, which makes always film photography fun for us, is that I was amazed by the
rich tones
of this black and white film. It has a lot of...
latitude?
Latitude. So there are deep blacks, but there are also fine grays, and the whites don't burn out.
Really? That's special.
And I'm sure, John, you would like a few rolls of this.
Yes, but it rolled in cans, though.
35mm.
Yeah, not the whole thing.
Yeah, John's holding a huge can.
Holding the whole... Well, how many? What is this, 400 feet?
Comes in 400, and remember 1,000-foot cans?
Oh, my God.
Yeah. It's amazing, and I can tell you the smell, the feel of holding film, and the thrill of you out there shooting Eastman Kodak Double-X 5222. There are a growing number of still shooters using motion picture films, especially Eastman Double-X, as it can be developed in traditional black and white chemistry and has no REM jet. There's no, cookie layer or anything weird about it. According to Project Double-X Online, this film has been used on such films as Schindler's List, Memento, Kafka, and the opening sequence of Casino Royale.
Really?
Yeah. So you could load this film in your 35mm still camera and shoot away.
The history behind it.
But that's not all.
No?
We also are carrying Fujicolor
It
IT exclamation point. Color negative film has an ISO of 6. It is actually Fujicolor IT-N, which is a film that was originally designed to make negatives from slides.
No kidding.
Yep.
35 and 120?
35mm. ISO of 6. You can get this in your grubby little hands.
That'll be fun.
Go out on a bright day.
I was going to say, go out on the sun and shoot it.
How about Fujichrome EDU Type 2?
Yeah, how about it?
Sounds like a university, right?
Yeah, it does.
This is ISO of 20.
Interesting.
Yep. It's a tungsten balanced duplicating film. It's tungsten balanced, meaning if you shoot it in daylight, it'll be blue, so you could shoot day for night. So if you go out...
And you happen to see Christopher Lee in the daylight, have some Hammer horror stills.
That's right. Poly
Pen F.
Still in the store, 50 ISO. This is a smooth. Did I give you a roll of this?
Has that got Joe's face on it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you shot it yet or no?
No, haven't.
It's a silky smooth, glowing poly pen F.
50?
Silky.
No, about 50 ASA?
Yeah. Originally designed to make dupes of 35mm motion pictures. This is from Germany. There is, I believe it's called Kodak. I believe we still have it in the store. Rapid copy film. ISO
0.06.
What does that mean?
It makes your brain explode, right?
Yeah, why?
Incredibly
If you're shooting
slow.
like, sunspots.
You could go out and shoot at f2.8 and like hold the shutter open for like 10 seconds.
Yeah, huh?
Incredible, right?
That would be fun. Shoot some ocean waves with that stuff.
620 film now on 620 spools that we have manufactured. We are offering all of these films on 620 spools for your favorite Kodak Brownie or 620 camera. Lomography Earl Grey 100, Fujichrome Provia 100F, Fuji Neo Pen 100 black and white,
Hi.
Kodak Ektachrome 100X,
Yes.
Kodak Ektar 100,
Ooh.
Kodak Gold 200, Kodak Portra 160,
Yeah.
a Lomography 3-pack.
Uh-huh.
That is amazing.
Yeah.
How about 4x5 sheet film?
How about it?
Kodak, Portra, Kodak T-Max,
What?
Kodak Triax.
Really?
Last batch of Kodak Ektachrome.
Oh, get it.
FPP green and blue X-ray film.
Yummy.
How about 8x10 X-ray film?
How about it?
How about APS film? 110 film,
No.
and get this,
What?
126 cartridge.
What? Well,
There's a lot of variety in the FPP store.
well,
This is news. Do you hear the ticker tape?
I hear it. I'm excited.
Yeah.
That's actually the sound of my brain percolating.
And all this is in the store for you, the person out there listening. Go to it. The selection is unbelievable. Your brain, your
Go
head's
out.
probably spinning. You probably will be talking about this on the show.
What show?
I'll talk to you soon.
All right, bye.
FilmPhotographyProject.com.
How quick would it take you to like just jump into another song?
I do it now.
Oh, you could?
Let's do
I'm
one.
sorry. I just need to hear that. No pockets.
Let's do one about socks.
Mike,
What
was the actual? I missed pockets.
Can we cut X-ray film down to 2x3? Oh, you're thinking. He's thinking out loud.
Unless this is the gun show. I mean, unless my measurements are off, can't you just cut 120 down to 2x3?
Can you, Leslie?
I don't know why you couldn't.
Yeah.
Except it is thinner than X-ray film, so it's going to be hard to cut, hard to handle.
Well, no.
Well, unless you like T-Max, that's
Well,
like cardboard.
I have to tell you, I haven't. The only film that I've cut is film that I could load, unload in a red light, and that is the ortho film,
yes.
which is X-ray is in that category. Every other film you can't expose to any light, so I would literally be in a dark room, probably cutting my fingers off.
Yeah, really.
Really sharp scissors.
I've got a solution for you.
Well, if you use a paper
See
cutter,
me
would
after the
stop.
show.
Oh.
Yeah.
History in the making.
It is. I can't believe I haven't.
By the
called
next
you
show, we
before.
may have a solution for you, my friend.
Yes.
All right. Hopefully, maybe next show we'll be coding our own emulsions as well.
Yeah.
Nice.
What?
No pockets.
Do you know how many people have emailed me saying, "Man, I love that song. I've been singing it all day. I can't get it out of my head."
At
And
least two.
None.
Even our good friend Rabia in the UK, No Pockets. Did she email you?
Was she? She's
Yeah.
not got in touch with me.
Yeah, No Pockets is the one.
Yeah, this really is about a man who lives not on our street but near it. What are the corners? Yeah.
You know a guy with no pockets?
Why, it looks like he's got no pockets.
The way
might
he
have
walks.
Pockets. Yeah, looks like he's no pockets.
Well, I think
I'll
this is.
find
I
out when
think
I get
this
there.
is the hit.
This is the hit.
Yeah,
Could be. It's been doing well. Shall I play it?
people have been downloading
Would
it.
you please?
Yeah. People
Jump
can
right
download
in here,
it.
Darren.
People I don't know, I get an email saying, "Oh, someone's sent you $2 for no pockets." Look online, put their name in
Yes.
with FPP.
Oh,
Straight
really?
away, I can tell you there's always some connection to the FPP.
Is that right?
Yeah, yeah.
$11 there.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you said it.
Very nice.
So I owe you some sort of fee.
Right, I don't need a mic.
No.
So yes, no pockets. I'm gonna go for it. There's a gent lives on our street, he got no pockets. And I wonder how he carries stuff, I drop it. He's got nowhere to keep his keys and change. It would surely drive me crazy, so deranged. You can often see him in the morning walking, and I think I've heard him singing, maybe talking. His dead man's arms hang limply by his sides, 'cause he got no place to put 'em in his strides. He got no pockets, he got no pockets, he got no pockets,
He got no pockets. He got no pockets. He got no pockets. He got no pockets. That man has got no pockets. His mother stitched him up when he was 7. The surest way to get a boy to heaven. 'Cause young boys' hands will wander where they will. And if you got no pockets, you can't get no thrill. He got no pockets. 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 That man has got no pockets.
That man has got no pockets. That's very funny.
I really envision a music video.
I see John in it. With no pockets.
Yeah.
I have no pockets.
Oh, yeah, I was thinking about it.
Yes.
Nice.
Yeah,
Well,
well,
we have-
Mokino, no pockets.
Before I forget,
Yeah.
we have goodies.
Oh, okay.
Can I have goodies?
We don't want to forget about this.
No.
Goodies.
Oh! Now you're talking. Darren's handing out. Ooh. Double dip, fun gums, rip and tip, refreshers, love hearts, Parma violets, drumstick. And here, these are some folks listening. These are some chocolates from the UK. For folks who don't know, they're a little different than they are here in the US. Crunchy, fudge, caramel, dairy milk. Here's a curly whirly.
Yes, we know you love Curly Whirly.
Oh yeah. How's this? This is my favorite so far.
French loves them too.
Chomp. Chomp.
Jump.
Is that what's it like?
It's chewy, caramelly sort of thing.
The
Yeah.
caramel was my favorite bar growing up. That's my
You know who
number
mentions Jelly Babies? The Beatles on their Christmas album.
Do they? Yes, they do. Yeah.
They're like, we love Jelly Babies.
Yeah. Send us jelly babies.
Try the crunchy. That has the freakiest inside ever.
The Rileys recently got married, and right now they're opening gifts from Leslie.
Hey, Leslie, my 10-year anniversary is coming up
Is
in a
that
month
right?
or so if you
I've
want to
got
start
something
shopping
for you.
now.
I've got it. It's right over here.
I'm registered at KEH.
Aren't we all?
Now,
Yeah.
Darren, would you pronounce that Plusex?
Back home in Bolton, it'd be plus, very flat.
Oh, plus.
Yeah.
Plus.
Oh, God.
When we come back, we're going to talk about cameras.
Good.
Oh, we've been recording this whole time?
When I'm assigned to shoot a guy like John Newcomb, I pack my Canon AE1 with several lenses because I'm after more than just John's form. Creativity means capturing his intensity. Try it, John. Me? Sure. The AE1 is so simple, you can really concentrate on your subject. About all you do is focus and click.
Cupertino, San Jose. In Berkeley, San Lorenzo, Cupertino, San Jose. In Berkeley, San Lorenzo, Cupertino, San Jose.
Hey, it's Mike here with John. The Darkroom is near and dear to my heart because Phil from the Darkroom made a special trip out to New York last year to meet us at the PDN Photo Expo.
Yeah, great guy.
And the Darkroom is a lab on the West Coast, and these days, because we're all shooting film, but the big question is, where do I bring my film to get processed? Because so many local labs have been closing, and even our local CVS, Target stores, Walmart's
They're diminishing.
The Darkroom is an option, and they've really stepped up to develop all films.
110 film, 126 film, 35mm film, 620 film, 120 film, 4x5 film, 8x10
Wow. One-stop shopping.
Black and white, color print C41, color slide E6.
E6?
You have an old piece of film you found from the 1960s, like Ektachrome X, with a defunct format. They'll process it as black and white.
What about Seattle Filmworks film?
Send it over.
Okay.
The Darkroom, it dates back to 1976, but did you know their heritage goes back to the 1940s?
Really?
Yep. It was started by four photographers.
120, 220, 35, 4x5, 8x10.
The Darkroom, it's thedarkroom.com.
They also do testing of awesome films like Lomo, X-Pro, Red Scale, True Black and White, Crossbird, Redbird, Nightbird, infrared films.
All of us here at the FPP highly recommend you go there.
They'll take good care of you.
The Darkroom, FPPproject.com.
Tell him Mike sent you.
That's right. Tell him.
Mike who?
Tell him the FPP sent you.
Yeah.
Nikon Autofocus F401 新発売.
Hey, we're back. We were talking about Nikon F cameras a few shows ago.
What show?
A listener, Rick Paul, photographer, who is a avid Nikon shooter, he wrote me an email and said,
"Hey, Mike, you know, I love Nikon, and I would love to get on the show to tell everyone about Nikon cameras."
What show?
I said, "Rick, that sounds great. Can you record a segment for us?" He said,
"Well, I'd be thrilled to record segments on a regular basis. I could be your Nikon guy."
I said, "Awesome." So I'm thrilled to present the first segment of hopefully many segments by Rick Paul on Nikon cameras. Go to our show notes to see an image of this great camera. Just go to filmphotographyproject.com and then click podcast, and you'll see our show notes, and you'll see Rick's Nikon camera and a link to Rick's website. So great, let's roll it in. Here's Rick talking about Nikon.
This is Rick Paul in Tucson, Arizona for the Film Photography Podcast, and I'm here today to talk to you about the Nikon F2. A few episodes ago on the Film Photography Podcast, Leslie talked about the Nikon F, and my being a collector of Nikon equipment and especially Nikon film bodies, I thought I would come on and talk to you a little bit about the F2. The F2 was Nikon's second Pro SLR body, an upgrade from the earlier Nikon F. It was manufactured starting in September 1971 until June of 1980. Nikon manufactured 816,000 F2s. It was widely regarded as the best mechanical SLR of the 1970s. And you'll see it in a lot of movies. You look back at a lot of pictures of the 70s of photojournalists, you'll see a lot of them with F2s. It was the photojournalist camera used around the world. The body of the F2 is made from about 1,506 individual parts. It has a shutter speed range of 1 to 1/2000th of a second. That was pretty fast for back then. It can go up to 10 seconds of exposure using the self-timer. It has a bulb and a time exposure also, and a flash sync of 1/80th of a second. With one of the photomic meters, such as the DP1, which is pretty standard, that's what you'll generally find on a used F2 is the DP1. It has ASA ratings from 6 to 6400, so you'll be fine with any of the modern films using something like Delta 3200. One nice thing about the F2 is it will operate completely without batteries. Although it does take two batteries in the bottom, those are purely to drive one of the photomic meters, just the light meter. The camera does not need batteries to operate. It's a fully mechanical camera. Nice thing about the F2, other than it's built like a tank, that's why there's still so many of them around, is it's got pretty good lens compatibility with the whole Nikon range of lenses. It works with the original, what are called non-AI, non-auto indexing lenses, the AI and AIS lenses, which are kind of hallmarked by those little bunny ears sticking up on them, and as well as some of the more modern lenses, such as Nikon's autofocus lenses. About the only Nikon lenses it won't work with are the more modern Nikon AFG lenses, which don't have an aperture ring. Since this is a manual camera, those lenses don't give you any way to control the aperture. But any of the older lenses should work fine, but you should definitely check compatibility before you try to mount anything on a lens that old. One nice thing about the F2 also is it's really a modular camera. You can change the light meter out, the prism. You can change the focusing screens. You can change the motor drives. You can add different motor drives to it. The viewfinders, there's lots of different options here. The camera evolved over the 10 years it was out. It originally came with what was called the DE1, very basic prism that had no light meter in it. You'll still find some on eBay with a DE1 on them. The DP1, which was the original standard match meter finder, those are also referred to as F2 Photomics. Later on, they released the DP2 and DP3, which have LED light meters in them, and you'll see Nikon F2s with those on them referred to as F2Ss and F2SBs as designations. And then finally later on they released the DP11 and DP12, which would be a Nikon F2AS camera. Although you can use, you change out any of the viewfinders, it becomes that model number kind of. And the nice thing about the DP11 and DP12 is they will meter with the AI lenses and newer. If you're using an F2 that has a finder on it, like the DP1, 2, or 3, it's not going to use the auto indexing for the light meter. You have to use the stop down metering, which works just fine. That's what I use when I use my newer Nikon lenses on my F2. And it works just fine. For motor drives on the F2, they came out with 3 different models, the MD1, the MD2, and the MD3. You won't find many MD1s. They're kind of rare to see. Most commonly, what you're going to see for sale are MD2s and MD3s. The MD2 is the professional grade winder, definitely a more robust, more capable winder. The MD3 was a less expensive auto winder released for the photo enthusiast. It's easier to find. It does have some problems, though. It works pretty well if you get a good one, but what happens is there's a little tiny gear in it that when they originally made were plastic, and that little gear gets old and it fractures or it slips, and then the auto winder won't work anymore. Fortunately, there's a really easy fix for that, and I'll talk about that fix a little bit later when I talk about where to get your F2 brought up to spec. Another thing is the F2 has lots of different interchangeable focusing screens, just like all the Nikon Pro models had. Flash. The F2 didn't come with a flash hot shoe built in, but it does have a little adapter called the AS1, which adapts over on the top of the film rewind lever. You'll see little contacts there where it slips on, and it just slips on and locks on, and it works pretty well. And you can pick up those AS1s fairly inexpensively. You can actually use pretty much any modern Nikon Speedlight flash or any flash on the F2. Just keep in mind it's not a TTL flash camera. It's made long before any of that. So you're going to have to use it in either manual or the old automatic mode. So if you're looking to get an F2, where's the best places to buy them? Well, it's the usual places. You can find them on eBay. I'd really watch out on eBay. I'd really look for one that looks clean, not beat up. I'd look for a seller who actually owned the camera, who's used it, who can tell you whether the shutter's operating well and all the controls are operating smoothly. You'll see all sorts of prices on eBay for F2s, anywhere from around $100 up to thousands of dollars, depending on the condition. I think you can generally find one in pretty good shape for between $200 and $300. Some things to look out for. The most common problems are that a camera of this age is going to need to be probably cleaned on the inside. Probably the foam is starting to disintegrate. If it's an older one, it's never been serviced. So you'll want to watch out for that, potentially get that serviced. Also, the photomic light meters are starting to get old, especially the older DP1s. They may be worn out. The meters, the actual cells inside may not be reading accurately anymore. It might look like it's reading, but it's kind of reading a few stops off. But all of that can be repaired. So where would you get an F2 repaired? Well, there's a real good place to get them repaired. There's a gentleman over in Great Britain. His name is Sover Wong, and Sover is an expert on the F2, and he loves them. He loves every one of them, and he has actually very good prices for fixing F2s. I got one in pretty good shape, but I still sent it over to Sover, and he fixed it all up. He cleaned it. He recalibrated the shutter. He took pictures of the inside for me before and after. He fixed the DP1 light meter, so it's 100% accurate. So if you've got an F2 or even an older F, he services the older Fs also. Sover does a great job bringing them all the way back up like they're operating like new. And remember that little broken gear I was talking about in the MD3 auto winder? Well, Sover can fix those too. He has all replacement gear that he's had made, that's little brass gear that goes in there. And he even sends instructions how to open it up and replace it yourself. If you're not squeamish, it's pretty easy to do it yourself, or you can send it to him and he'll replace it. But he's got a lot of F2 parts. He even has brand new F2 parts. When Nikon stopped servicing the F2s, Sover went and bought stock of parts for the F2s. So he's just got tons and tons of parts to keep these things running. So he really does do a great job. Easy to find him on the web. Just do a search for Sover Wong, Soverwong. Soverwong.
The Google.
So that's all the technical aspects of the F2, but why would you want to own one? Why would you want to shoot one of these cameras? Well, it really is a very well-made camera. It's one of the best made cameras of its era. It's one of the best handling cameras you're going to find from this era. All the controls are very well laid out. The shutter crank is very, very smooth, single stroke. Just everything about the camera. It has great stability. stability and balance, it just feels like a really good camera to hold. If you're interested in finding out more about the F2, there's a lot of good information on the web. If you just Google for Nikon F2 history, you'll find a lot of good resources about the camera. Recommend you check it out if you're interested.
The Google.
Hey, we're back.
Wow, that's pretty good. That's what you're saying, right?
No, you were saying it in D. You played it in E.
Oh, sorry about that, D.
When did the music start? Like, when did you start playing? Were you a toddler?
It would be about 1985, so
Oh,
he's in his
12.
30s.
Okay. And when did you first start doing it professionally where you were able to, like, you know...
Make a buck.
Make a buck or put it where other people can hear it.
Make enough money to buy a beer.
Well, I started off...
When do you plan on
pound? You're right.
starting to make a buck? Answer it that way.
Well, I mean, been doing it on and off since then, really. Played in covers bands, cabaret bands, you know, weddings, stuff like that.
Bar mitzvahs.
Bar mitzvahs, garden centre openings.
Oh.
A long time ago. But the first time I put an album out that I was really pleased with the Banditos.
Right.
Which would have been, I think it's 3 years ago.
Yes.
Lucha Libre, which you used to play on the podcast a lot.
That's a fabulous
I've done
song.
that. And then the ballad stuff came out January 1st. I think the EP was... There's a phone ringing somewhere.
Stop it, it's mine.
The EP came out on Boxing Day, December
It did?
26th. Yeah. And then the album came out January 1st.
Oh, I see.
Every time you say it.
What's the difference between the Banditos with other people and just playing yourself?
It's easier on my own.
What is that? I can't imagine what you were like in grammar school, Mr. Dane Johnson.
Oh, yeah.
Were you a punster with
You didn't
getting
get chocolate,
bombs in the
put it that way.
radiator?
Did you throw out spitballs that were a whole piece of paper in your mouth that you soaked for like 20 minutes?
No, we used,
gum.
yeah. No, we'd take the ones where you made it out of a pen, where you pull the pen out and you take the top, put it in the back, and you just the compression kind, and they just somebody shot me.
So, how has the reaction been to the ballad stuff?
Surprisingly good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting anything.
Yeah.
Well, one of the reasons all the songs are about 2 minutes long, so I thought, if people don't like this one, it'll soon be over.
That's right.
Yeah.
So do you record that stuff yourself, or where do you?
Yeah.
So it sounds great.
The drums are all samples.
Oh, that sounds great.
Thank you.
What are you using? Like
BFD.
That is BFD. Yep.
Yeah.
Great.
But only the ambient mics on it.
Right. They're the only ones
just
that are.
compress it.
That's it.
I want to
That's
do
awesome.
it like, imagine I was in a 60s studio. So
Yeah. So you use the vintage kit, like the vintage Ludwig kit, and
And it's all mono as well. It's not in stereo.
Oh, that's a great idea, man.
Mixing in mono is easier.
Yeah, of course.
So
wow, that's great. Yeah, I had to break mine. If John didn't show up next time, we'll break the BFD out.
You do it to be happy. You don't do it to break into the record business or anything.
Well, yeah. This is the ballad thing is really the first stuff I've done just to enjoy it. I think that's why it's got such a good reaction, because I'm just pleasing myself.
Right. No pressure.
No pressure at all. Yeah, and it's it seems the way to do it.
That is the way to do it.
Yeah.
It's very zen.
So if you just came into the show right now,
Yes.
it's about film.
Okay, so this is the Film Photography Podcast. Thanks for listening in, and you can write to us, by the way, podcast at filmphotographyproject.com. You can visit our website, filmphotographyproject.com, and you could visit our show notes. And
to backtrack, that was what I meant there, is because everybody was I didn't mean like we would stop talking about music. You guys were discussing
I wasn't talking about that.
Yeah. So I had to bring it around there just to give him a little more editing work to do. Yeah.
It's okay. I got tons.
I know.
Yeah, every Tuesday night apparently.
Right here. Because everything's going to get like, right after I say that, everything's going to get like really quiet. Oh. It's like, no, I'm not very say. Making a joke.
Really?
Do you like the reverse effect I used on?
Yeah, that was good. That worked well.
Like, when someone says something like, say.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm
like,
gonna-
Yeah.
Everyone at home is
reverse
like,
that at home.
here we are, in our fourth year of this show, yet I am still figuring out, I'm still discovering cameras that I've never used before.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of them.
Yeah, and you pick them up, and then it becomes your favorite for a few months, and then...
You throw it away like so many...
No. So, we're going to start talking about Olympus, some Olympus cameras. I think that Mr. Dave Mahaly is going to be very pleased. He's an Olympus man.
Yes, he is.
He visited all of our meetups in Findlay, Ohio.
It's good to see him there.
It was.
And his
Son,
little young man,
little
Tony,
Yes.
who is also an Olympus user.
Yes, he is.
Nothing less.
Now, on the list here, there are two cameras. One is called Olympus Pen F, and the other one's called Olympus Pen EE. Now, what are these cameras, and what's the difference between them? Leslie, why don't you start?
The difference between the Pen F is the original. It was introduced as the smallest. And it is an SLR. It is not a rangefinder. It looks small, like an SLR. So this is very accessorized. There are 20 different lenses for this. Microscope adapters, all those wonderful things. But what's deceiving about this little camera is the fact that it does not, it's an SLR. It does not have the hump in the top for the prism, pentaprism, poro prism finder. It's actually in the side of the camera. And they also used a rotary shutter rather than a leaf or a bladed shutter. So the flash will sync at any shutter speed.
Wow.
So this was from the very brilliant, and I'm so sure I'm just going to murder his name, Mr. Maitani, and he designed this. The OM1s and the XAs.
Oh, wow.
Sure. Now, there are 3 models of the pen, and I thought I just had a straight F, the original one. I didn't. When I looked on top, I have the FT, which was the only one they built with a meter inside. But when they built the meter inside, they had to silver the mirror, and that cut down about a half a stop on your view. So it's a little bit dimmer. Also then introduced after this is the middle of the line, the FT. They also introduced the FV, and the meter was not in that one again. Backtrack a little. I think possibly, and I could be wrong on this, that the FT was the only single-stroke advance. The others may have been double, more like the Leica at that point.
And that is an SLR.
Yes, single lens
That
reflex
is amazing.
view. It's half frame. All the FTs are half frame.
Awesome.
So
That
it's that
is
killer
awesome.
24 48 frame syndrome.
So if you put a roll of 36 exposure films, you get what,
72.
72 frames.
You will have 2 full sets of Christmas pictures on it.
Yes, you will, easily.
Yes, you will.
It was introduced 1963. The middle one was 66 and then 67 for the history of it. But I am told that, and this is a bayonet mount lens, that these cameras were modified to take movie camera lenses. And they shot test film on this because the Super 35 frame was nearly the same size as half frame 35 in these cameras.
But that's what they say.
Well, does that lens come off?
The man said.
Absolutely.
The man said, you know.
Is it a screw mount?
It is a bayonet. See how that easy that came off?
What
amazing.
Well, now
what
it's
lenses
broken.
were available for it?
Lenses available, anything from a 20 millimeter. They had some zooms. They also had an 800 millimeter.
Jesus.
The prize is
Half
30.
frame 800 millimeter.
Yeah,
that's
it's
insane, huh?
Tiny and beautiful. They had a 38 millimeter f2.8 that is the pancake lens.
Ooh.
And that's the one that is incredibly desirable.
I bet.
But I do warn you, if you buy these, you want to make sure and get it with the lens cap. The lens cap has the Gothic F on it, and you'll pay as much for the cap as you will for the body.
Is that right?
Amazing.
Yeah.
Wow.
That
People
seems.
lose these little metal caps.
Is this a rare You don't see these
I
that
know,
often,
I've never
correct?
even heard of that thing.
You look for them. Once you start to look for them, you'll see them.
Yeah.
People do have a tendency to hold on to them. They do go on forever. They're incredibly well built. They, in a sense, drive you a little bit nuts because when you look inside this one with the meter built in, it's not f-stops. It's 0 through 7.
Right.
They felt that the f-stop system was not accurate enough.
That's EV? Or
It
no?
is. They refer to it as
Proprietary, yeah. It's like the Argus Matchmatics, where they just kind of made up a arbitrary set of numbers. And
They did, but they felt this was more accurate because of how the metering system worked with metering a wide open lens using a different amount of glass compared to using a smaller amount of glass, the thickness of the glass. They were just incredibly technical at that point. They called it the TTL number, the lens number. So it looks a little confusing, but at this point they knew we couldn't give it up. The f-stops are on the bottom.
So what's it sound like?
start it up.
Ooh,
significance.
I'm listening for the rotary sound.
Now,
like scissors.
Yeah, the mercury sound.
A camera of this age, if you're looking on eBay for one, what to look for of possible,
I have no idea
stuff that doesn't work?
Issues.
Oh, problems.
Issues. You're always, I think, safe with the original F and the FV because there's no meter.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So that's about really what fails in it is the meter itself. Because we're running off a 625 battery, it's not the easiest thing to find anymore. Don't put in the current battery. I put it in anyway. I'm shooting neg film.
So no battery in this camera.
This does take a battery because this has the meter. This is the metered version, the middle one.
Okay.
So little shutter speed dial here. It's also the version that gave you hot shoe.
Hot shoe.
I knew it.
And a PC outlet. I'm sorry, there's no hot shoe.
not hot shoe. PC outlet.
PC outlet. You had to
Will that work? Will the shutter fire without the battery in it?
Yes.
Okay, just the meter won't work.
Meter does not
heft
work.
to it. That's amazing.
Yeah. So without the meter, it's still fully manual.
Yes.
It's like
Yes. Good old Sunny 16 rule.
Great.
So,
Darren, now do you have a case of gear acquisition syndrome? Like, are you looking at this camera? Are you like, ooh, like would you?
I am. I do. Yeah.
Oh, like when you see something.
I've calmed down a lot.
Okay.
Buying gear.
You
but
did it
every
what?
now and again, I'll see something that that's nice, and that is. I am sort of looking for a quality half-frame camera.
Oh, have you shot with a half-frame camera yet?
Yeah, I mean, I've got two. I've got my Diana Mini's half-frame, and I've got the LC Wide can be set to half-frame as well.
Wow. Okay.
But I still love like an Olympus Pen half-frame as well.
That's an oxymoron that the LC Wide can be set to half-frame.
I know. It's
Dave's digging in.
It's like a panoramic half-frame camera.
Like you're digging in.
Oh, it's really cool.
Dan and Mark just always dig in.
You need to get a Mercury 2 if you want a half frame. That's the most fun half frame.
With the
It is with the
parking
dial-up.
meter.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you go out to London.
Oh, I love those. Yeah, that's right. I had it in London. Yeah,
that's crazy.
It's one
I
of my
would
favorite cameras.
love to have more lenses for this, but the lenses adapted to many things. They're still in use. They adapt the lenses to digital, so the lenses still hold their own very well financially.
Now, is Mark's camera, the Olympus Pen EE, in the same family?
Newer.
Much
newer.
The Pen,
Yes.
so the Pen EE.
Well, they went backwards to E.
Yeah. So what they did was they took the Pen F and they decided
Dumbed it down?
to dumb it down. So the Pen EE has my version has it's a selenium meter. It's really distinctive because it's got the selenium
look at
meter
that.
around the lens. It still has that
Looks
sort
different.
of pen look.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it
it
looks
sort of
different.
generally looks similar, but it's got the selenium meter around the lens. It's also a half frame.
That thing is amazing. I'll tell you.
It's just
So the
beautiful
pen.
camera.
And the cool thing about this, so unfortunately, talking about issues with this is again any old camera with a selenium meter on it. The meter's dead on mine. It doesn't really work at all. But
Works anyway?
It works anyway because what it's actually got, it's really cool. It has an auto exposure system on it where the dial, the outer dial, you actually set the ASA, but the ISO of your film, and the camera goes from, unfortunately, it's kind of useless anyway, but it goes from 10 all the way up to 100 ISO, so you can shoot any film that exists for it. But then, if you keep turning the dial, on the back side of the dial are manual apertures. So even though my meter is dead, I can still just tell it to shoot at 2.8, tell it to shoot at 11, tell it to shoot 16. So since my meter is dead, I just shoot it manually, and it's a fixed 1/60th shutter speed.
Wait a minute. You talk to this camera?
I do.
It does what you say?
Hello, Mark. There was a later version of it that had two different shutter speeds, but again, it's got the PC. Oh no, I'm thinking of a different camera. Never mind. Yeah, this camera has nothing on it. It does not have a PC port.
It's junk. Throw it out.
Thinking of another. Yeah, so yeah, it's.
Where did you get it?
Flea market.
Okay.
Got it a couple weeks ago. Coincidentally, it's a zone focus too. I should also add, it's not an SLR or a rangefinder, even just a plain old zone focus. I shot with it. It's fun.
Takes 12 years for you to get the roll done.
Well, I was smart. The roll that I put in it was a roll of that 8-shot evidence film.
Oh.
Which even on that, I got 20 pictures out of.
Oh, because it's right.
Because it's 8+.
8, hey.
And how was the quality?
You get some work with that.
It's very good. I think the focus on mine is a little bit off, so a couple of mine were a little soft, but the ones that came in focus are very good. I love half frame. I just like the look of the portrait orientation.
What is this, like drive time radio?
I know.
He's just saving you trouble on the sound effects later, I think.
I need to ask a question.
Oh, yes. Darren has a question.
Well, Leslie, you mentioned pancake lens.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm
no
hungry.
idea what a pancake
Pancake lens, our little term for an incredibly tiny profiled lens,
Right.
a little pancake.
Would that be wide?
So it makes that camera look like this camera.
Yes,
Right, I
exactly.
see, wow.
Mhm. In this
They
case,
call them
it is-
flapjack lenses in England.
Crepe.
Johnny Cake.
Crepe fry lenses. The crepe lens.
Crepe lenses.
That's a pinhole.
Canon just released a brand new EOS lens.
Yep.
A 40 millimeter. Did you see that?
Yeah.
40 millimeter.
My hand was on the trigger like 4 or 5 times
Yep.
already. I'm like, ugh.
How much?
Canon EOS lens.
Yep.
40 millimeter. I'm gonna say it was like $200.
Yep.
That's not bad. Pull a trigger.
230 or something like that.
Amazon is the cheapest price, and I'm like this.
Oh.
Pull the trigger.
I see, Leslie. You have an awful lot of literature for the Olympus Pen. Like,
Yes, the pen and the XAs I brought along.
What what do we need to? What's that?
I have an XA.
That's Dane's camera. We haven't gotten Dane's
Do
camera.
we need to cover some more on the Pen F yet, or do
No,
we?
I got the lens off, and it's kind of freaky to look at it because we're used to taking the lens off a 35 SLR, and the mirror goes up to the top, flies up. This goes sideways.
Is that right? Now the Olympus Pen EE does not have that side mirror.
No, it's a zone focus. It has no mirrors.
So
No
it's
mirrors
a
at all.
rangefinder.
Nope.
Because it's a rangefinder.
No, zone.
Zone.
Yeah.
Oh, not even a rangefinder.
No, it's
For
just
real?
you just one guy, 3 guys, mountain.
Olympus Trip.
Yeah.
One guy.
Do you have an Olympus Trip 35?
One bloke. Yeah.
You do.
Oh yeah, one fella.
How about you, John? Do you have an Olympus
Two
Trip
fellas and a
35?
dame.
No, not yet.
Where does this whole XA series start?
So here's the cool
1980s?
thing about the X.
80s.
Yeah, that's 80s, right?
80s,
But
yes.
there's the X. I have 2 XA2s just because I found them and and it's a really sharp camera, but it's zone focus. So it only has, it's like the LCA in the sense that you got the close, medium, far thing, and which is cool. But it's and you can't set your. It's a zone focus. It's a stripped down version of the XA, which same flea market 2 weeks ago. This is where I got this one, and in the box, and everything like that. $10. Can't.
And the flash. 11?
Flash came on it. Yeah,
11.
I have a 13 too. Also, 16. Is it 16? 16.
9/11 16.
But the coolest thing I always liked about this is, you have a 2.8 lens, so and so you unscrew. This is all you have to take out with you.
Isn't it beautiful?
Small.
There's nothing to it, and so that's the XA2, which is still a great camera. But I've always heard about the XA. It was is it an XA or XA2? I'm an XA2. Like, oh, okay, but
who will take that away from John?
But the XA.
Can I see that?
There you go.
Hey.
You can get it back at the end of the day.
So the XA is cool. I think, but
XA.
the XA was before the
Don't be
XA2.
tempted.
They're all
They're all kind of the same time.
Pretty much introduced together.
Okay.
XA2 /3,
/3, and then there's a
and
4.
the XA4.
I just kept making
All at the same time?
So the XA.
Oh,
price
absolutely.
points.
Yes.
Here's what people like about the XAs. The XA actually adds the ability as a rangefinder. So now it's got the whole, the ghost image, and you can force the aperture setting. So it's got 2.8 down to up to 22, and then and then flash. But so it's for me. It's that much more fun to work with because now I always like to be able to set. I want to interact with the camera. I don't want to just set it to close and go click. I want to be able to make me work a little bit.
How long have you been shooting with this?
This one I've only had a couple weeks, but I already, but
own an
I've already
XA?
put 2 rolls through it. And the XA2 of those I've shot for, I guess, since that was one of the first ones I got. And it's like when we were on, the great thing like the XA2 is when we were on with driving trip or something. You keep it in the glove compartment, and whoever's passenger seat, they don't need to know anything. They can just pull it out, set it to mountain, and take pictures. And it got some great shots, road shots that way. Telling someone to set it to infinity might. Huh? I'm not doing math.
Time, space, continuum, what?
Yeah, right.
Matt, just on mountains.
Yeah, that one you just tell them mountains. So this one you would have to actually tell them, whatever. But yeah, it's sharp in the size and the, with a flag, can't beat it.
A1, amazing. Oh my God, do it again.
So you click up to get the flash. Who wants a picture? Oh yeah, that's a good look. That's a good look. With the mic standing there.
It doesn't even sound like it fired.
No.
Nope.
It's like
Are you satisfied with those cameras?
Yeah, and the other part is it's got the auto exposure is really solid on it, in the sense it'll hold. This thing will keep the shutter open for like 10 seconds if you're in the dark for like long exposures and things. So for the size and for the and the quality that you get, I think it's one you're going to be one of your best bets for a small camera, that's just the right amount of auto.
If you find a 4, never hesitate.
What's the difference between the 4?
Is wide
I've never
angle
even heard
28.
Oh.
And it has a real nifty lens strap on it because it's macro. And you pull the lens strap out, and that's as close as you can get. Or you pull out a second generation, and that's the second closest setting on it that you can get. So the XA4s, there weren't as many, but
I've never even heard. Yeah, I've
you
never even
find
heard
one,
of it.
It's got a macro on it.
Good to know. Now I know
Now, how come you always hear about
Or
the
a macro.
XA2?
both of them.
Really?
Yeah,
Yes.
XA2, you never hear XA4. Are they rare?
XA2's all over the place.
That was the least expensive one.
That was the cheap one, yeah.
The easiest to use, so it hit a big market. And nobody usually buys a small camera with just a wide angle in it.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So it has film in it, but you guys are welcome to check it out if you want.
Nah, it's a piece of
no.
junk.
Okay, I figured that. It's all good. I touched it.
Well, John, why don't
I'll
you
look
talk
at it.
about your Olympus camera?
I don't have one.
Oh, you do now?
You do.
I have Olympus Stylus. That's it.
You have an
Those are
Olympus
awesome. You should have
Stylus
brought that.
Epic.
You've used
I have
it.
a
Talk
Stylus
about
Epic.
it.
The
I love
Stylus
that
Epic
one.
is epic.
Well, it's the go-to point-and-shoot camera.
Love
that
that
I
camera.
have.
It's one of my favorite
Well, now
cameras.
I have a Leica Mini, so that's my kind of new
But that
go-to.
Leica Mini is just like some rebranded something, isn't it?
Tell them the secret
It's
about
just a Honda.
about the Epic, the Stylus Epic.
Oh,
the
you
secret
put
setting.
the secret setting.
Oh, where you can keep the shutter open.
You put the flash to
On the moon, half moon.
Yeah, half moon, and what it does is after it flashes, the shutter stays open
For a
to
second.
expose your background.
Right.
Right.
Then you can move it around and do cool stuff with it. It's awesome.
You know, that's the funny thing is that's the reason I bought the first got into film stuff in the first place, because I was looking at Mike's stuff of Smooth Sailor shots where he had all this crazy light effects.
Yeah.
And I'm like, how the hell do you do that? So then I went and read his tags, and it says, Olympus Stylus Epic. And I'm like going, you mean he just did, he did that with a...
point
I'm like,
shoot.
I thought this was going to be something from the 30s or something, some
Yeah.
old camera. Went on and bought one for $5 or $6 on eBay and got it home and you showed me the setting in it.
Yeah.
And then, so that's one of my...
You have a Stylus Epic as well.
Yeah.
Those are another great
Love it.
cameras just put in your pocket.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
It's good for the beach.
Yeah,
yeah, it's
excellent
great.
for the beach. And for concerts, I take the Stylus 80.
Ooh.
It's a little bit smaller, isn't it?
Yeah, listen to this.
Yep, that's right.
Look at that little thing popping in and out.
That's right.
I think they also make
R2D2.
a Stylus 100.
They make a 120,
Yes.
a 140.
Huh.
The lens is like ridiculous.
Absolutely, yes.
It's like.
And they make a wide version of that too in that
It's like
family.
Bender.
I would have been better off maybe with a longer lens for the Mike Nesmith concert.
Maybe, yes.
Yeah.
Why?
And a
You were
little
5 feet away.
And a little faster
Oh, wait,
film.
that's the other one.
Yeah. Did we cover everything? What do you have there, Becky? What's that? Who makes that? Oh, Ken. Oh, my. That's from the past.
I don't think I know it.
Oh, okay.
I could do Dead Jennifer.
Oh, yes. That's a great one. Now, that's a little ditty about a woman who's crossing the road to get her coffee.
Yep.
But one day, she's crossing and there's a motorbike.
Yep.
It's just simple, easy peasy, but you saw it and you didn't do anything about it.
Well,
Nice.
I kind of got the lyrics wrong because if you really read them, it seems like I saw it and didn't do anything, but I was also riding the bike as well, so it's a bit mixed up.
Yeah.
But I
Wait,
thought,
you're the one on the bike?
at the end I am, but in the middle I'm sort of watching it. So
Did
I
you
don't
see this
know.
actually? Is this
I couldn't
true? Is
be
this-
bothered changing it.
Is this a true story?
No.
Oh, okay.
No.
Well,
What
forget
inspired it? Did you see something in the, in the
Play
globe?
another
or-
song where a girl.
Gotta be honest,
gets
no,
killed.
it was just in my head. It just
What's the paper over there in the UK? The trashy one where there's UFOs and all
Daily
sorts
Mail.
Daily Mail's trash. The Sun's trash. News of the World is trash. They're all trash.
What's that one we got a picture of John reading?
Oh, the Sunday Sports.
Oh, yeah, what's one with all the porn in it?
That is real trash.
That is some trashy stuff.
But in many ways, it's possibly the most honest newspaper there is.
That's true.
Because you know exactly what you're getting with it.
Yes, you do.
John
And
got a
it's-
subscription to that
It's
one.
sort of like
Yes.
you get the Sun that has got page 3 girls, which is a bizarre concept. We'll get a newspaper, but on page 3 we'll have a lady with the boobs out.
Yep. Are they honest, though?
Well,
Or are they fake?
And then news, but the sports is like a satire of all that. So there's
Yeah.
lots of ladies with the boobs out and ridiculous stories that are all made up. But it's almost the most honest newspaper because of that.
No, it's...
The Inquirer would sell a lot better
Oh, God. Oh,
if
yeah.
they adopted that format here in the
page
States.
3.
Hell yeah.
But I don't buy it. I'd like to stress that I don't read
I
those
don't buy
papers.
And to the listeners at home, Darren is winking at us as he says that.
And his fingers are crossed.
So this is Dead Jennifer.
What do you got,
It's in
G?
G.
What album is this on?
This is on the No Pockets EP.
No Pockets EP. How do you
First
get
track.
there?
Balladpop.bandcamp.com. It's
Great.
over on the right hand side.
It'll be on our show notes.
What show?
Cool. Okay. Jennifer's a girl you used to see around the place, but now she's gone. Yes, she's gone to that great gig in the sky. She never had the chance to say goodbye. Oh, Jennifer, why did you have to die? Every Monday morning she would cross the busy road to get her coffee. She liked it strong,
always waited for the lights. But one day she just didn't see that bike. Oh, Jennifer, it gave you such a fright. Jennifer, I wonder if you're listening to this song. Never had the chance to say I loved you all along. I watched you every single morning. You saw the bike, you didn't hear my warning. Jenny, please. Jennifer's a girl you used to see around the place, but now she's gone. Yes, she's gone to that great gig in the sky. I'd love to see you when it's time to die. I saw the bike, I must apologize.
Hey, see you in 2 weeks.